So this one is about how Prince Harry is reconsidering bringing his family back to the UK over a new security row. And the royal family are responsible for this. So Harry is reconsidering bringing his wife Meghan and his two children Archie and Lilibet back to the UK after learning that they will not receive any police protection. And Meghan and Archie and Lilibet may be kept away from the visit after the taxpayer-funded police protection was denied. And the Duke and Duchess of Sussex had intended to be in the UK for 5 days of events relating to Harry's Invictus Games and charity patronages in early July, and they planned to bring Archie and Lilibet with them, and the children were not expected to attend any events. But Meghan was scheduled to join Harry on visits to the Royal Hospital Chelsea and an Invictus event at the National Exhibition Centre in Birmingham. And now the details of the trip were announced on Friday evening, but shortly afterwards, Harry was informed that his application for a security package for the visit had been denied. Now, the Sussex family will not receive taxpayer-funded protection while in the UK other than when they are within royal residences. And Harry received an invitation from his father for his family to spend part of the trip in a royal property which wasn't named for security reasons, but a source close to Harry and Meghan has accused the Home Office and the committee responsible for assessing their security of willfully creating conditions that are making it nearly impossible for them to move around Britain. So while Harry himself was generally pretty robust about handling security issues, the source said there was concern about the effect on the children should anything go wrong. And Harry had been waiting for the result of a review by the Risk Management Board and part of the process by which the Executive Committee for the Protection of Royalty and Public Figures, RAVEC, rules on his security requirements. And Harry had been told that the assessment would take place in March. However, Harry was told last week that it had not taken place and that all such assessments had been paused. We don't know why it's been paused, but someone's behind it pulling some strings. And Harry is currently asked to provide 28 days notice of his plans to visit Britain with taxpayer-funded security decided on a case-by-case basis. And the source close to Harry and Meghan said that the precarious security situation and endless speculation about where the Sussex family will stay is making the planning and logistics for the private security team increasingly difficult. And also the Home Office and the RAVEC board are willfully creating conditions that are making it nearly impossible to move the Sussex family from A to B. There have been 3 separate incidents in the UK in less than 12 months, each involving a fixated person getting to within feet of Prince Harry. And Harry just wanted his kids to see their grandfather, King Charles, but is now reconsidering whether it's safe to do so. So Harry will continue with his own commitments in the UK, including engagements with charities, Well Child, Scotty's Little Soldiers and Invictus, but may alter announced plans for his family. They're now saying to Harry that instead of doing a 5-day visit to the UK, just fly you and your family in and out of Britain in 1 day from mainland Europe, because Harry and Meghan and their children are currently on holiday in Portugal because they bought a place out there in Portugal. So they're at the moment having a holiday, but the cheek of the royal family, this is the royal family's doing, the cheek of them to say, oh, well, you can come over for 1 day, we'll fly you in, and then you can go that same day back. Is there any point? 1 day? I mean, it just shows you that they don't want Harry and Meghan in the UK for 5 days because of the media coverage and all the attention that they're going to receive. They want to put it on to 1 day now instead of 5, and it just shows you the threat again. They're so threatened by Harry and Meghan because they know they're really good at the job. And also the royal establishment have duped Harry into believing the king would stand aside and allow RAVEC to access Harry fairly. And a very sneaky turn of events portraying the king as a loving grandfather, yet intervening into RAVEC's decision-making process. So instead of Charles just standing aside and allowing Ravek to assess Harry. And we've had all this, and it sounded credible, like, oh yes, Prince Charles does want to see Harry, Meghan and the children, but they're trying to get him across as this caring, doting grandfather that does really care, but he doesn't, because he's intervening yet again into Ravek's decision-making process. And yet Charles had the cheek to tell Harry that he had no such clout to intervene into Ravek, but he does, because he's doing it again. They've literally, it was announced on Friday, and shortly afterwards it said he'd lost it. And now they're saying that the royal family are, they're turning things, they're doing stuff behind the scenes to make sure that Meghan doesn't come back to the UK, because they know she's really good at the job. And all this has happened, jealousy, and because they're popular. And I'd say Charles, William and Kate, all three of them are behind this. But it just shows you that I don't think it's safe, actually. I think Meghan and her 2 children should stay in Montecito, and I think Harry should just come over himself, because I think they've made it really obvious now, the royal family, they don't like Meghan, they don't want her over here, hence why we've got this security row going on. But we'll see what happens. I'm going to keep an open mind, and she might turn up with the children, we'll see. But they're all saying now that the children of Meghan will not be coming to the UK, it will just be Harry. But we'll see what happens.